Survivors of a cataclysm try to find safety. The Harfoots confront evil. Durin is torn between friendship and duty. Adar considers a new name. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and we're gonna jump right into episode 7 of Lord of the Rings. No, Rings of Power. So, we do get some really good visuals in this. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. But let's just go over it. So Galadriel and others survived the pyroclastic flow, like a pyroclastic flow. Like I kind of had to look that up, and it's basically that the volcano dust cloud and all that came through, and apparently temperatures in that can get anywhere up to from 1300 to 1800 degrees. So how Galadriel and and like a whole bunch of them survived with no scrapes or bruises or burns. Okay. I mean, how? How? They don't even explain it. And then we get a whole bunch of other scenes like where the Harfoots decide to get the stranger to try to fix the grove that they're in, and we see like it works, but it doesn't work right away, and a tree falls, like the tree branch breaks off and falls, and then almost hurts Nori and this other little girl. So they decide to send the stranger off to a human settlement. But then they're like, "Oh my God, look at all this bounty! He fixed it," and I'm like, okay, so they sent him away. And then, of course, Nori tries to stop female Eminem and her two followers from following the stranger. And they set fire to everything the Harfoots have. Literally burn the whole grove down, including the food. And I was like, why would you even say anything? Just let him go and then go after the stranger to try to stop him. Because they're going to sit there and follow him anyways, no matter what these Nori said. I was like, wow, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad writing and stuff. Like this whole episode was actually just bad writing. We even get Elrond begging King Durin III for access to the mithril mines, which aren't even they're not mines. Durin the Third, he doesn't want anybody digging for mithril because the rock is super unstable. And I'm like, how can the rock be that unstable if you've already got mines throughout the rest of the mountain? I mean, literally, did you mess up that bad while you were digging tunnels for all these different riches and stuff that you literally made the whole mountain unstable? That it's just going to collapse if you dig another hole? And it literally does, because, I mean, not literally, but as we see later on, Durin and Elrond are digging by themselves, and the rock needs time to settle because it's tremors and all this stuff going on, like it's going to collapse, and I'm just like, how is this even a dwarven thing, man? I'm like, dwarves are master miners. I mean, like, I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. I just was like, what? So, but, like, why does Durin the Third not want to dig for mithril? All right? He said it. I know we said in one episode it was just kind of too dangerous, but why? And what's his problem with, like, elves and other people? He's, like, super suspicious about everything, and he doesn't want to bother with any other races, and it's like, what's going on here, And why is there a Balrog in this, and why is it awake? I was like, I know in the Lord of the Rings, we see that the Balrog is awake after Khazad-dûm falls. It's because of that where they have to leave Khazad-dûm, and all the orcs and stuff that move in. So, but, like, why in this when it's, like, I guess, yeah, they don't even have, like, a definitive date for the time period, but it's, like, in the beginning of the Second Age, like, or something like that, from what somebody had said to me. Like, it's not that far into the Second Age, so I'm like, the Balrog should definitely not be around until the Third Age. But I was like, okay. And Muriel's blind now because she got some ash in her eyes. And Isildur's dead? What? I'm like, Isildur is definitely not dead. And if it's in the beginning of the second age, doesn't he cut the ring off the hand of Sauron in, like, the beginning of the third age, which could be 1,000 years or more later? So I'm like, I don't get the timeline. I don't get how even Galadriel's meeting any of these people in Numenor, because it just doesn't make sense, you know? Like, the timeline does not make any sense in this. But the worst thing in this whole episode, in my opinion, the worst thing in this entire episode is Galadriel reveals that Celeborn is, in quotes, apparently dead. He went off to war and never came back. And she also made fun of him that his armor didn't fit right, you know, when he went off to war. And she never saw him again, never came back, so he's dead. And I'm like, what? I was floored. I had to pause I had to pause that scene and be like, how is this possible? Are they that hard up to ship her with Halbrand, who, according to every other YouTuber out there, is Sauron? I'm like, dude, he's a human. So he definitely, I mean, he's just gonna die off and then be like, oh, hey, I'm whatever. I'm not Sauron. I'm just gonna pretend to be an elf because, you know, whatever. I'm a sorcerer. So I don't know. I have no clue what's going on in this episode at all. I mean, it's really kind of just weird. Like, everything that happened in it was just, like, the writing was so bad, it was just, I don't understand what was going on. And then we get Adar renaming the Southlands to Mordor. I thought Mordor was already established. Kind of. I mean, they found a map that's the mark of Sauron on her brother, and then it was an actual map to Sauron's base of operations, whatever you want to call it. I thought they hinted at that being Mordor. So this is Mordor now, the Southlands instead? I'm like, what's going on here? Totally don't get it. And I don't think they can explain it. It's just that the writing has been that bad. But again, the effects in this look good. I mean, it's like $50 million or more per episode, so I hope they're good. The armor, yeah, looking at it now, especially doing like still shots of the last episode, where I paused it and looked at the armor and stuff. The armor's really not that good at all. It's really in some parts is bad, but again, I don't understand where like a lot of the budget went for this, because it's just all over the place. Some of the CGI is wonky, some of it's good. The sets, for the most part, are pretty good. I still maintain that the dwarfs and Elrond are probably the best thing of this series, even though in this episode it was just not good. There was a couple of moments in there where it was okay, but it really wasn't good at all. Like, Disa is like, doesn't matter if your father disinherited you, you're going to rule these mines. We're going to rule them together. We're going to open up the mines, and we're going to dig for Mithril one day. And I'm like, I don't think the elves have one day left, because according to what's going on... Oh, and we find out that the Mithril can freaking reverse the rot on the tree, because it does it on the leaf and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that there's one episode left. I can't wait for it to be done and over with. I would give this at least, again, 4.5 at the most, maybe 5. I don't know. It just was not a good episode at all. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Take care for now, everyone.